It's safe to say that this salad is mine and my partner's absolute favorite, and we make it all summer long. It's a twist on the classic Caesar salad, and it's packed with healthy plant protein from nuts and tofu. Sometimes protein-rich salads can feel heavy, but this one is light and perfect for summer, and we're going to make it with a flavor-forward approach. So let's get into the cooking. We'll start this recipe by preparing the crispy tofu, and I'm using a firm variety of tofu here, the one that comes in a little water bath. So we'll just quickly drain this off. And then I'm going to simply slice it into 3 nice thin slabs, like so. So whenever you cook tofu, you want to think about seasoning the inside and the outside. So we'll start by simmering the tofu in salty water. I've seasoned the water with a good pinch of kosher salt. I'm also adding in some dark soy sauce. Simmering the tofu like this will also make it really nice and firm, and that helps it get lovely and crispy when we go to fry it. That's simmering away nicely. I'll let that cook for around 10 minutes. You can also just dunk the tofu into salted boiling water and leave it for, say, 15 minutes. That's another option, rather than simmering it. And then just like with the potatoes, we're going to drain the tofu and let it steam dry. So now that we've seasoned the inside of the tofu, we're going to season the outside. Into a bowl, add a little white miso, and I'm going to add a touch of water to thin it out. Just give that a little whisk. You don't want it too thin, you still want to be able to sort of coat the back of the spoon with it. And then once the tofu finished steam drying, I have just lightly patted it dry. I just got rid of some of the moisture. And then we'll simply brush on this miso, and this is going to help these seasonings stick to the tofu, but also give it a really nice salty and tangy outside. So just start by brushing the top and the sides of your tofu. And then for seasonings, I'm keeping it really simple and just using some chicken seasoning and putting that into some breadcrumbs to give the tofu a nice crunchy outside. And just simply mix that through. You can then add in your first slab of tofu and place it down miso side down. And then you can brush the top with miso, or what was the bottom before. And then you can just sprinkle the breadcrumbs on top and get the tofu nice and coated. This is a nice way of getting the seasonings to stick without using like a sort of flour-based batter, and it adds a nice salty crust as well. So just pat them in, get the sides as well. And then I'll just repeat the process with the remaining pieces. This recipe was actually suggested by a Patreon member, so if you're not already a member, be sure to sign up. There are lots of great benefits to be had. Just scan the QR code, or there'll be a link in the description box. For the Caesar dressing, we're going to be using cashews instead of mayonnaise for some healthy fats and protein as well. So just add them into a blender. If you don't have a high-speed blender, then you might want to soak them in boiling water for about 30 minutes. I'm then going to add 1 garlic clove. You could also use granulated garlic if you wanted to. About 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, or you could use white wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Then I've got the classic Dijon mustard. I'm going to add about a ½ teaspoon. I don't actually love mustard, but in this dressing, it is delicious. Now, Caesar salad traditionally has anchovies in, but for our plant-based alternative, I'm going to add a teaspoon of capers, and also a teaspoon of the brine. Let's go for 2 teaspoons actually. And this adds that lovely sort of salty and tangy flavor that you would get from the anchovies. Now, of course, a traditional Caesar usually has Parmesan in it. We'll be using our trusty friend, nutritional yeast. And let's go in for, I think, 2 tablespoons. Get it nice and nutty and savory, lovely. And then you can either add some salt, or I'm going to add some white miso, which adds some extra umami and tanginess. Really delicious. We'll then go in with a good grating of black pepper. I much prefer grating it fresh compared to getting the pre-ground black pepper. Just much more pungent. And then of course we'll add in some water so that it does blend. I always start with less water than I'm going to need because you can always add in more. But if you make it too thin, it's a bit trickier as you have to add in more cashews. And then you just end up with way too much sauce. So we'll give that a blend until it's lovely and smooth now. One of the most important things when cooking is to taste as you go along. so that you can adjust the seasoning to your preference. So we'll give this Caesar salad dressing a quick try. Looks really lovely and creamy. Oh, that's good. There's a nice hint of garlic and mustard. It's lovely and creamy, and it's got a nice tangy and cheesy flavor, but I think it needs a little bit of acidity just to cut through the richness of the cashews. So I'm just going to add a touch of apple cider vinegar, just so I don't have to start a whole nother lemon. So just a drizzle of that should be perfect. And there you have a beautifully creamy, cheesy and tangy Caesar salad dressing, all made from plants. You could also make this with plant-based mayonnaise. You could make it with silken tofu. You could even make it with yogurt. It'd be slightly more fresher and less indulgent though. This will last a good 4 to 5 days in the fridge, and it will also thicken up, so you might need to loosen it up with a little water. So instead of the traditional bread croutons, we're going to make potato croutons, or just roast potatoes, I guess you would call them. Mainly because I don't have any bread, but I do have these 2 potatoes, which are starting to get a little old and are actually starting to sprout just here. So we'll just pick them off. And you could peel these if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave them skin on for that extra fiber. These are going to be incredibly crunchy and moorish in this salad. We're just going to dice this potato into, I'd say, about 2 centimeter cubes, roughly. And then we'll blanch these potatoes in some salted boiling water for about 5 minutes. This is so the outsides get nice and fluffy when they're roasted and lovely and crispy. Okay, these have come to the boil, so I'll let them cook now for about 5 minutes at a rapid simmer, or until they're slightly soft on the outside. Now, I would usually start potatoes in cold water, but since we just want the outsides to cook on these potatoes, I've started them in boiling water. Okay, these have had 5 minutes. The outside is nice and soft, so I'm just going to drain them off. And then you just want to let them sit for at least 5–10 minutes ideally, and let them steam dry. Okay, these have been steam drying for about 8 minutes now, and we're just going to give them a toss to get the edges lovely and fluffy. I'm just going to season these in the colander just to save on washing up. So I'm going to add a small drizzle of olive oil, some dried oregano, dried thyme, some nutritional yeast, which I'm just going to sort of crumble through my fingers to help it stick. A little extra salt, even though we did, of course, season the boiling water, and some black pepper. And then you can just give them another shake to get them nice and coated. For an optional extra, you can add in some starch of your choice. I'm going to be using arrowroot powder, and that's going to get them even crispier. And I'm going to do this in the air fryer just to save on time, just a bit quicker than doing it in the oven. And you want to spread out the potatoes evenly. And I'm going to air fry them until golden and crispy. Full cooking instructions will be in the description box. Okay, these have had 10 minutes at 200 degrees. I gave them a little shake after 5 minutes, and I'll give them another shake now. And they are looking absolutely beautiful. I'm going to give them another 5 minutes just to get them a little more golden. You've got one objective now, and that is to not eat all these crunchy potato croutons before you've even made the salad. And I promise you, it is not easy. They are just beautifully light, fluffy, and crispy. So much better than regular croutons. I've got a lovely crunchy lettuce here. This is actually called a butterhead lettuce. I'm just going to remove the bottom bit. It's got a really nice mild flavor, but it is lovely and crunchy, which is exactly what you want for a Caesar salad. I'm going to keep the inner leaves pretty much as they are. I like them quite large and chunky so that they can soak up the dressing. They're almost like little cups for all the other ingredients. And then the last small bit, I'll just slice up. And then with the bigger leaves, I'm going to roll them up really gently though. We don't want to bruise the lettuce too much, and cut it into nice slices. Maybe turn it around and just go for it once that way as well. And then I will just give this a quick wash, once again being nice and delicate so to not bruise the leaves too much. Just a light spin, don't be too aggressive with it. We'll do that a couple times. We do want the leaves nice and dry so that the dressing does stick to them perfectly. Okay, onto cooking the tofu. We're going to pop it onto a medium heat. Just start getting the pan heated up. And then once the pan is hot, go in with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. You could also bake the tofu or air fry it. And then once your oil is hot, gently place in your tofu. think I'll just be fitting 2 into this pan probably. Yeah. We'll fry this for 2-3 minutes on each side until it's beautifully golden brown and crispy. If you wanted to, you could even cook this with the potatoes just to save on washing up in the air fryer or in the oven. Okay, let's take a little peek. That is looking beautiful. Turn that over. Lovely and golden. And then once your tofu is beautifully golden and crisp like this, we can serve up. You're welcome to cut this tofu into strips or chunks. I'm going to go for strips today. You could also use extra firm tofu if you want it a little chewier. Okay, time to serve up. We're going to start by dressing some of the lettuce and the potatoes. I'm definitely going to keep back some of these potatoes to keep them crispy and put them on top of the salad. Same with the dressing, we'll definitely drizzle some of this over as well. So just a couple tablespoons to start with. I'm going to give that a nice toss. And generously pile that onto a plate or bowl. Get those beautiful potatoes in there. Definitely add a few more crispy potatoes on top. Potato croutons. And then just lay on a few slices of that beautiful tofu. And then finish it off with a final drizzle of that creamy Caesar dressing. I honestly think I could eat this salad every day. It is just that delicious. You've got that crunchy tofu that is seasoned on the inside as well as the outside. Then you've got the beautiful creamy Caesar salad dressing, which is just as good as your standard Caesar dressing, if not better in my opinion, as the cashews add a nice sort of creaminess and indulgence, really tasty, and then crispy and herby potatoes to finish it off. How can you go wrong with that? Thank you for watching. For some more plant-based goodness, go and check out this video.